What the is the issue? What is getting in the way? What is the excuse? What is the reason that I'm not feeling good? If you can feel better on a regular basis, your life will change. Your job is to be the manifestation, is to say, it's me, bitch, duh. Who the fuck else are you gonna pick? You are being manifested by your best ideas, by the opportunities, by the money, by the stages, by the book ideas, by the business, by the wealth. You are the manifestation. So are you up to par? Oh, next time, next year, next course, next retreat, next event. There's no next, bitch. Money is going to show you all of your unmet emotional needs. The best way for you to create an abundant future is abundance is not really an amount. Abundance is more a feeling. And what I mean by this is that wealth or money does not actually create abundance. It's quite literally the other way around. Abundance is the thing that creates wealth. And if you're like, wait, so many words, what's happening? What do you mean? We'll break it down and think about like wealth being a sum of money. And so if you have wealth and you have this pile of money, it is not necessarily going to create the experience of abundance. It doesn't mean that you are going to feel abundant, but actually feeling abundant and creating the experience of abundance in your body is the thing that's going to allow you to be able to generate wealth and actual physical money. And this is because of the universal law of cause and effect. Now, we could go really deep into what that means, but this is kind of just like the idea of we reap what we sow, right? There's a cause and an effect, AKA we get out what we put in. And so this means that if we are hustling for money from a place of scarcity or fear or lack, once we get the money, it doesn't mean that we won't be able to create money, but we won't be able to create abundance, right? And so that might be a thing that you're like, wait, I don't get it. I know so many rich or wealthy people and they're not really living like this abundant, flowing, easeful, free life. They're still pretty like stressed out. They have no joy. They're always looking for the next thing. It's never enough. And that is because wealth does not create abundance. And so if you are seeking or searching or fighting or pushing or hustling for money, then you can still get it, but you will not internally experience abundance. Because scarcity was the cause of you approaching this goal of making money. So if scarcity was in the cause, there will be scarcity in the effect or the outcome, right? So if you went in with scarcity, what you'll end up with is maybe more money, but also you still have the scarcity. And so it will look different, of course, because there's many millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires even, that are living in scarcity because it's never enough. The stakes are higher. There's more to lose. And the fear just transmutes itself. It used to be the fear of I'm not going to make ends meet. And now the fear is this is all going to get taken away from me, or when's the other shoe going to drop, or I'm going to be found out, or I'm not going to be able to pay all these salaries. Like, it all just wears different clothes at the end of the day. And so what is inside of the cause will also be in the effect or the outcome. And this is why so many people stay broke, stay poor, or stay stuck at one level, even if that level is a pretty good level. You know, you could be in business making 10K months, 20K months, 30K months, but feel like I've hit an upper limit. I can't move past this. And one of the factors in that could be because there's not an internal shift happening. You're not able to shift your internal world enough to break your patterns and start thinking and behaving and reacting differently so that you can generate or create a different result. The thing about money is that it's always just a mirror. Money is going to show you all of your unmet emotional needs. Money for a lot of people is a game that we are playing, and it shows up as this like replacement for love almost. We seek validation through money. We seek recognition. We seek safety. All of our emotional needs, we are trying to fill them with money. So money is always going to show up as this mirror for you. So here's some questions. I'd love for you guys to take a screenshot if you want to, or take a photo or whatever if you want to really like dive into these deeper later, because these are some good questions that can help you come up with some of the roots, or maybe some opportunities to like even see something or transmute it, or realize where there might be some resistance to something. So you can ask yourself things like, okay, what is stopping me from believing that I am fully safe right now? What is stopping me from believing that I am fully loved right now? What is stopping me from believing that I'm fully capable and free right now? What are those limitations? Whether they are real or perceived, I invite you to write them down and explore them and ask yourself, is this really true? Why do I feel this way? What is the evidence that I keep looking at to support this belief that I am not loved, that I am not safe, that I am not capable, or that I'm not free? Where am I still addicted to being in control? This question will humble you really fast. And I say that from experience because I am a recovering control freak. Where am I avoiding taking on more responsibility? Now, don't overlook this question. Don't underestimate this question, because you might be thinking, well, responsibility in my job? I don't know. But I want you to really think about what the energy of responsibility feels like to you in your body. And if it feels icky or heavy or like you don't want it, then I want you to really consider and think about what areas in your life are you avoiding taking on more responsibility because you don't like that feeling? Do I allow myself the space to tap into creativity, playfulness, and wild joy? Some of us in the chat said, I've never allowed myself to dream this. I don't allow myself to believe that this is possible. I've never written it down. I've never looked at it. I haven't felt like this was available to me. So maybe that's a question for you. Are you allowing yourself to tap into creativity, to playfulness, to imagination, to wild joy in your life? Even if it's silly, even if it's childlike. Another really good one, how is my anxious attachment or avoidant attachment playing out in my life, in my love, and in my business? Because again, money is just this tool, money is a mirror. So your dynamics and your patterns that are underlying with money are gonna show up in your life. They're gonna show up in your relationship with love, because love is also connected to safety, security, validation, connection, right? All these things that we think we're going to get from money. And of course, business. If you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, like the money patterns are all there. We all know this. When we became an entrepreneur, we did not realize that it was going to be a second or a third or a fourth, this kind of infinite spiritual initiation of looking at ourselves in deeper ways all the time. Another really great question, what is the limit to my self-expression? When does it become inappropriate? Because there is a range that we allow ourselves, to express, to be loud, to be playful, to be silly, to be funny, to be rude, to be sarcastic, to be whatever. We allow the self-expression to a point. And I want you to consider and find what that point is for you. When does it become inappropriate? When do you start judging yourself? Or when do you start judging others? Because you're like, I would do that. That's cool. I would do that. Yeah, get it, girl. I would do that. I would do that. I would do that until, oh, I wouldn't do that. Now that's weird. That's cringy. That's bad. That's too much. Right? So where is the threshold of what I deem to be acceptable? Whether you've realized this or not, or admitted it to yourself or not, it's happening underneath. So let's find the threshold of what I deem to be acceptable in myself or in others. And when does someone go from being inspiring to now being too much? When does someone's self-expression or their joy or their celebration or their money or their wealth or whatever go from being, wow, that's really lifting me up, that's expanding me, that's inspiring, to being like, ooh, why do you need so much? Why do you spend so much? Why do you share so much? Right? Where does the celebrating in our mind make a quick little U-turn to, oh, that's bragging? How much do we allow other women or people in general to celebrate until we feel that it's not appropriate, until we feel that it's an imposition to others, to society, to the internet? All of this stuff connects back to our relationship with money. Money, power, love, responsibility. It's all here. And what's happening for you in your life with money is the mirror. And it has a lot of the answers. We just have to be willing to look, right? So these questions are an opportunity to really, really look. So manifesting abundance, what I want to be clear about is it's not really done through like a vision board or a certain journaling prompt or a meditation or a to-do list, action items. Of course, these are tools. They're things that we can use along the way. They're helpful, they're enjoyable. They might expand us or alter our frequency in a way that's beneficial or keep us on track with what we need to actually do in order to get the manifestation to manifest. But they're not manifestation itself. They are not the process, right? Because manifestation is really a way of being. It's really an energy with which we move through the world. It is a philosophy. It's an art. It's the way that we be. So you've got to ask yourself, if you want to manifest literally anything, well, who am I practicing to be? Every day is a practice. Who am I practicing to be? Who am I practicing to be when I wake up? Who am I practicing to be when I walk into work? Who am I practicing to be when someone makes a comment or someone cuts me off or I have to have a hard conversation? Who am I practicing to be when things are inconvenient, when something goes wrong? Who am I practicing to be when something goes really right and I have the opportunity to celebrate or to share? Who are you being when no one is watching? And this one is really important because I think we all practice to be our best selves when we know that we have an audience. And so if you are someone who's in the online space or you're an entrepreneur or a coach or a healer or something, we all practice to be our best version of ourselves through our personal brand or our business or social media, even just in general, what people share on social. We all know that it's mostly going to be, this our best practiced version of ourselves. But it's a valuable exercise to consider, who am I practicing to be when no one is watching, when I'm not going to get recognition, when no one's going to say, oh, that was a really vulnerable post. I really appreciate you sharing that. Would you share otherwise? Would you share the hard thing with someone you love? Or does it only get shared when there's eyes, right? Are we only sharing the good things when we know there's eyes? And that's fine, but it's like, okay, but who am I being behind the scenes then? I'm the first person, when I make a beautifully ornate, delicious, healthy meal, it's going to be on my Instagram story. But I'm not eating that every day. That's not my plate every day. That's not my green smoothie every day. So that's easy to look at that from the outside and be like, oh, that's who she's practicing to be. But I have to do my own work of who I know that I'm being when you're not watching, when you can't see me, when I'm alone, when I'm in an argument with my partner, when I'm living my real fucking life. How do you feel on a regular basis? I bolded this one because this is like point blank period. If you do nothing else, really try to fix the way that you feel on a regular basis and the rest of your life will literally fix itself. That's facts. If you can feel better on a regular basis, your life will change. So assess, what the fuck is the issue? What is getting in the way? What is the excuse? What is the problem? Who are the people? Where are the flimsy boundaries? What is the reason that I'm not feeling good? And am I open and available to taking responsibility for fixing these things? Because if I can fix the way that I feel on a regular basis, I can almost with 100% certainty guarantee that my life is going to get better. Not just a little bit, a lot. So if you feel like shit, that's your assignment. Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about doing crazy, detailed rituals and shit. Get yourself feeling better. That is the most important thing. What are you doing to manage your energy and your subconscious belief systems? Are you addressing them? Are you questioning them? Are you ignoring them? Are we working through them? Are we hyper fixated on them? Because that's another problem. Are we stuck in the healing trap of believing, I always have a block, I always have a block, I always have a block. What's my block now? I have a problem, I have a problem, I have a problem. Are you stuck in that? What are you doing to manage the energy and your subconscious belief systems? And you know the answer. If you're willing to be radically honest with yourself, you already know the answer. How are you meeting your emotional needs for love and security? Because that is going to impact your relationship with money. If things are happening in your life, in your business, or in your relationships as it pertains to love and security, and they are not positive patterns or dynamics that you would wish to repeat, clean it up. When you fix that, things with money will get better. This is a place for us to start, right? We're just, of course, scratching the surface, but this is a place for us to start. So in order to attract this rich life, we have to first become the abundant being, right? When we go in with abundance, the outcome is abundance. And so that's our responsibility, is to first become the abundant being. What holds us back from this? Well, our belief systems, our personal vibration, how we relate to money, our daily routines, the people in our lives, how we approach our dreams. We're either too forceful, or we're too timid and too scared, or we have this lack of trust and inability to surrender. These are the things that are mainly holding us back. I want you to consider if you might potentially have your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time, which we know is not an effective way to drive a vehicle. So if your foot is on the gas, that means you're taking lots of action, you're doing lots of things, maybe you're consuming lots of information. You're like, yeah, let's fucking go. I'm gonna get that bag. You're doing a lot of stuff. Your foot is on the gas pedal, but then your other foot is also on the brake because you have these abundance blockers that are in the way. They're stopping you, they're holding you back. So what are these abundance blockers? Some of the things that we've already mentioned, but I'm gonna put some more of them on the screen here for you. Patterns of unworthiness, rigidity, having this addiction to control, procrastination or lack of action, playing small, living in your excuses, loving your excuses, believing your excuses, moving through the world as a victim. These are blocking your abundance. Comparison, outsourcing your power, believing that somebody else always knows better or has a better answer than you. Believe in your imposter syndrome. Hey, imposter syndrome is normal. We all have it. It's cool. You just have to keep going. That's how you fix it, is you just say, I feel you, and I don't give a shit. You just keep going, right? Another abundance blocker is, like we talked about before, the judgment, the resentment, the jealousy, that outward projection of like, that's too much. That's bragging. That's, no one needs that. Why would you spend that? That's an excess. Must be nice, right? Limiting money stories, being stuck in our current identity, not being willing to evolve and say, hey, actually, I have the power to change my personality, my actions, my behaviors, my thoughts. I can change myself. I am the creator of my reality. I tell myself what happens and what does not happen. I dictate what happens in the world around me because I am the center of my little universe. I'm the main character of my movie. So when I move, the supporting actors fall in line. If you don't enjoy your day-to-day life, then like we talked about, the focus needs to be on feeling better because that is also going to block your abundance. And then the people, the energy vampires, not having boundaries with people in your life that you know are really negative, or they're not supportive, or they have wildly different beliefs than you and you tend to go like this on certain things. Are you actually creating boundaries and space for you to have peace, or are you just allowing yourself to be at their every like whim? You're like stuck in the waves, getting tossed about by these people in your life. That's up to you to change. It's not their responsibility to bend to what you need or your triggers or your perceptions or your values or your beliefs. It's not actually their job to become a better person for you. It's your job to be a better person for you and not let those people too close to you. The other thing that might be happening in this car analogy is that we might be out of gas. We're out of fuel. So the fuel is this sense of trust, this feminine energy, this ability to believe that there is something out there supporting us, guiding us, that we can actually relax. So if you are all out of fuel, no matter how hard you're stepping on the gas and taking all the action and doing all the things and learning all the information, you're only going to get so far because you run out of gas. And so that's also going to block you. So most people are going to fall into one of these two categories. Obviously, this is a sweeping generalization, but we're going to put ourselves in one of these mythical sort of open boxes, okay? So one is, I feel like I'm doing a lot of things. I'm trying really hard, but it's still not happening. That's box number one. Girl, I'm doing the most. I'm probably doing too much. I'm doing all these things and shit ain't working. So what all of my ones need is, you need a little bit more of the connection to your divine feminine, which is that presence to the moment, prioritizing pleasure, intuition, being able to trust yourself, cultivating that. You have to practice that. No one's like going to be like, oh, here, trust, like wave a wand and now you have it. You get to build it by actually exercising trust and then realizing that you don't die. That's how you create it. That's how you build it, is just doing it when you don't trust. Do it when you don't trust. Do it when you don't believe, and fuck around and find out. Because what you'll find out is that you're probably okay, and that plants a small seed of, oh my God, maybe I could let go a little bit. Maybe I could release a little control. Maybe I could trust a little bit. I don't know. I might F around and find out a little bit more with that. And then you do it a little bit again, and a little bit again, and a little bit again. And then you start stacking all this proof that, oh my God, yeah, this control that I was so addicted to was just a false perception of everything being fine. But what I've discovered is that when I let go, things are even better and the whole world doesn't fall apart. Everything might not happen exactly as I wanted it to or be exactly at my standards, but things get done and I don't die. And I also learn a lot about people that maybe I don't want in my life, or that I can't trust, or that they just genuinely don't meet my standards. And so now again, that's an opportunity for me to say, okay, well, we're not meant to journey together anymore in whatever capacity that was. So either way you win, right? So this divine feminine energy is also about being able to receiving love, receiving miracles, receiving compliments, receiving affection, allowing yourself to have that, being vulnerable, creating deep connections through emotions and words, being flexible and allowing life to flow, trusting and being open, even if you've been hurt, even if you're kind of guarded, just making the choice. I'm staying open, I'm staying open, I'm staying open. Having boundaries that support your peace, right? Surrendering the vision, being in creativity, allowing space for creativity, and knowing that you are magnetic. That's what anyone who said one or identified with one, this is the energy that you want to be working with and working towards cultivating more of in your life. So I want you to think about which elements of the divine feminine you need to tap more into. So then we have the other side, right? Number 2, the second category, are the people that are like, I'm waiting to just be more certain. Like, I don't feel like I have the answers. I don't know. I'm waiting until there's more of a certainty or more of an answer before I can do anything, before I make a move or make a change. Like, if I don't know where I'm going, then what am I supposed to do? So I'm just sitting here, I'm just kind of doing nothing. But I guess if it's meant to be, it'll be, right? So I'm just going to keep waiting. These are the 2s. If you feel that, at least in this moment of your life, not perpetually or always, hopefully, but maybe in this moment in your life, you're like, fuck, I do be tuning it up a little bit over here. Two. I am always 2. So obviously, if you are in this group, if you're identifying with that, what you are going to need more of is some of this divine masculine, right? Which is what supports us in logic, in being assertive. The masculine energy is very proactive. They think ahead and they plan. They're action-oriented. They're protective. They know how to lead not only themselves, but also others. They are a risk taker, disciplined and structured, knows how to set and hold boundaries with people, work, energy, time. There's focus and strategy. The masculine is about doing more than it is about being, right? The feminine is all about the being. The masculine is about the doing. So maybe there are some elements of this where you feel like, shit, I need to bring more of that in again. And maybe you were this. Maybe you, and this is really popular, this happens to a lot of people, you were one way a lot, really hard, and then it burned you, so you swung over to the other way. And then you became the other way, really fucking hard. And then you were like, and this is not working. And then you slowly make your way back, right? It's that pendulum swing. If you bring the pendulum so far over to one side, once you let it go, where is it going to go? It's going to go all the way over to the other side. So I'm sure there's many of you that can resonate with maybe being really masculine or extreme in your routines, your rigidity, structure, planning, always working, being on, go, workouts, meal prep, whatever it was. And then you let go of that and you go way over to the other side. And you're like, fuck the rules, no rules. I don't need rules. Ugh. do what I want. And then you're doing everything that you want all the time. And then you're like, oh my God, but like I feel kind of sloppy now. And like I'm not really making any money. And like this is kind of like turning into like a shit show. Like what the fuck? And I kind of like, part of me like misses my old toxic masculine self. This is weird. What is happening? And that's because you're coming back to center. You're being invited and asked to come back into union. And what's beautiful about if you are someone that has been on one side and also now the other side, you have the advantage that you know both, that you are capable of both, and that you possess both, and now you can just bring them together. It's about joining those two sides of yourself and not demonizing either one. Not demonizing the extreme feminine as being too lazy and not demonizing the extreme masculine as being too rigid. You have to be willing to make peace with both of those sides of yourself and actually trust both of those sides of yourself so that you can become whole. If you feel like the masculine side of you hurt you, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then you will be fearful of coming back into union with it. That is what needs to be repaired, is I do not feel safe with masculine energy, whether it's my masculine energy or, someone else's masculine energy. Maybe it's an actual man. Maybe it's an experience. Maybe it's a trauma. Maybe it's an abuse. Maybe it's a sexual trauma. All of this makes you reject your own masculine energy and feel that those character traits and those archetypes and those ways of being are unsafe. But the truth is that you are always safe with you. You are always safe with you. And even if you've had negative experiences on either side, you must know that you now have enough wisdom and experience to be able to bring them together and to stop judging them and to stop judging yourself. When you release the judgment of both of those energies and the you that you were in both of those places, then you will be able to actually integrate and be like, you know what? I actually love that masculine side of me that makes a plan or that knows how to time block, and I'm really productive in my day, and then I can clock out on time and go make out with my husband or play playfully, joyfully with my children instead of trying to get them to hurry up so that I can get cleaned up because I need to get the kitchen done so that I can get the fuck to bed. We have to create safety with both of those sides of ourselves if we want to live in a life that we love, okay? That was unplanned, but I believe it was necessary, and I see a lot of you resonating with that. So if you felt like you were the two, then I want you to think about what specific elements of the divine masculine are here for you, and you're being called forward today on this call to be like, yep, that's what I need to work on. Write it down, make note of it, circle it, underline it, don't forget it. That's your homework. So how we become magnetic is that union that we talked about, right? Of bringing those two sides of ourselves together and creating the safety and the understanding and the compassion to be able to do so. And it's also about rewiring our subconscious patterns, raising our personal vibration, repairing our relationship to money, establishing new habits, right? Working on our wealth embodiment, balancing these masculine and feminine energies, all these things that we've talked about. This is all part of that process of actually becoming magnetic. So some of the biggest mistakes that I see people make over and over again in their journey towards cultivating the life that they want to live is that they're kinking the energetic flow of their divine guidance. I think we've been taught so much through life and society and traditional education and schooling and whatnot to not trust our own inner knowing. We are not our best boss, or at least that's what school teaches us, that someone else is a better boss, someone else is a better authority, someone else knows more. And so therefore we go out into the world and then we think something or we feel something or we know something and we're like, oh, but maybe not. But maybe they probably, someone else probably knows better than me, right? And so this is one way that we kink our energetic hose. But especially when we receive a ping or a download or a nudge or a push to go do something or to try something, even if it seems silly or trivial or a waste of money or it's not very obvious of this is going to be the thing that changes your life, but you feel this creative inspiration, you feel this ping to go do something, and then you're like, oh, but see, I don't know, it's kind of expensive, and I have to think about everybody else first, and I probably can't do that, or maybe I'll just wait, and so we wait in hopes that the ideal circumstances will fall into place so that we can then act from a place of everything being perfect for us to act. And that's wrong. We have to act on the creative inspiration, on the pings, on the downloads, on the nudges, because those are the things, watch this, those are the things that help you have the revelations and the ideas to create your ideal circumstances. You don't wait for ideal circumstances and then say, oh, I'll go to the retreat then, or I'll go to the event then, or I'll do this then, or I'll travel here to this other country then. No, you do it now. You do it when you're being asked by God, source, universe, higher self to do it. You obey, you say, yes, I believe, I trust, I'm on the path, here I go. And what you will find is that in that, you discover a revelation, an idea, creative inspiration, a connection, someone that knows someone that just gave me an idea, a new business proposition, an opportunity, money, abundance. It all happens once you start to say yes. But you are not getting there because you are busy saying no. You're saying, I can't yet, not yet, maybe later, I'll just wait, when I get around to it, when things are better, when I'm less busy, when the kids are older, when I have more time, when I make more money, when I get another client, oh, next time, next year, next course, next retreat, next event, next. There's no next, bitch, because that was the thing that you were supposed to do so that you could figure out what the next step was. So that you could receive the guidance that the universe is like, hey, I'm sending you the idea for you to go to this event or do this thing or try this activity because it's going to give you this amazing idea and then it's going to help my whole plan come to fruition. You're going to get everything that you ever wanted. And you're like, see, because like maybe later. See, because like I was thinking that I would do it next time, you know? That's what I was thinking. And the universe is like, are you fucking for real right now? So I send it again and again and in a new package and in a new way and in a new nudge and in a new thing. And you just keep going, oh my gosh, I can't because I'm such a victim and I can never say yes. And then we wake up and we're like, why has nothing changed? And nothing has changed because we haven't been open to it. We haven't allowed ourselves to respond to the guidance. We haven't allowed ourselves to respond to the ping. Those things, your inspired ideas, desires, wants, nudges, feeling like you should be somewhere or you should try something or you should go to a cafe today or whatever it is, those are the breadcrumbs. Those are the things that divine order is putting in your path and saying, I hope she picks up this breadcrumb. Okay, I'm going to drop this one here. Let's see if she gets it. I'm going to put this one here. Oh, there's another one. There's another one. And we're dodging them and we're missing them. And sometimes we pick up one and our whole spirit team is like, yeah. But maybe you could play this like a video game. Like, how many can I get? Right? How many gems can I collect? How many times can I feel inspired to do something or to have something or to act a certain way or to go to a place or to invest in a thing and just do it and see what the magic of my life would become? Because you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And if you are always waiting, then you are attracting more waiting. Waiting always attracts more waiting. So if you are in waiting, then what you'll experience is a longer period of time before you get where you're desired to go. So I want you to never underestimate the invisible ROI of choosing yourself. This is really important. There is an invisible return on this investment of saying yes to these things that seem trivial or silly or like it's not going to matter or it's a waste of money or it's not directly connected to me building a better business or making more money or whatever. Because it might be these little puzzle pieces that seem like they don't make sense. But when you invest in you, choosing yourself, saying yes, trusting yourself, following the breadcrumbs, there is an invisible return on that investment that you cannot see, which is why we don't do it, because the investment is not presented to us. If it was presented to us, we would fucking do it, right? If they were like, hey, if you just did this thing, you would get the idea and then you would start the business and then you would make the money and then you would have the freedom and then you would live in the mansion and then you would travel in the private jet and then you would do it. $5,000 retreat, sign me up. You're like, that's an easy breadcrumb, nom, nom, nom. But we don't see what the investment is. It's invisible, which is why we have to have faith. We have to trust, but never underestimate that there is always an invisible ROI of choosing you and making the choice that serves your heart or protects your peace, or investing in valuable wisdom that you feel drawn to, you feel connected to, you feel like I need to learn that, I need to be in that room, I want to feel that energy. That is invaluable. investing in life-changing experiences, following what you believe is right, even when it doesn't make sense to other people, even when it seems like a dumb idea, or other people are like, are you sure? Or it's like, oh, that doesn't seem profitable. Are you sure that's going to work? How are you going to make money? What would you do? Right? No, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be having this conversation if I didn't decide to say, hey, everybody, I'm going to decline my corporate job offers and fuck the university degree that you just helped me get. I think I'm going to go live in Spain and make a poverty level wage and do whatever I want because I met this guy on a dating app and I really like him. So I think I'm going to go there and I'm going to live and I'm just going to like not really make any money and like hope that it works out. And yeah, great idea, right? And everyone in my life was like, are you okay? But none of this would be real. The business, the podcast, this workshop, you, the community, the life, the condo on the beach, none of it would be here if I didn't eat that little breadcrumb. You be eating those little breadcrumbs and you never know where you are going to end up. Eat it up, queen. That's right. Eat it up. Spend money on things that you value, that you enjoy, that feel expansive to you. It's really, really, really important that you do that because you are actually being manifested. You are not sitting over here like, I'm going to manifest all these things. What if you were the manifestation? What if all of the ideas and opportunities and money and businesses and everything existed as energetic entities in the ether and they were trying to choose their person. They were trying to choose their vehicle to be born into the physical realm. And they're looking for someone who has the tenacity and the work ethic and the ambition and the excitement and the drive and the gift and the heart and the joy. And they're hunting and they're looking. And your job is to be the manifestation, is to say, it's me, bitch. Duh. Who the fuck else are you going to pick, right? Line me up with these hoes. I know you're picking me. You are being manifested by your best ideas, by the opportunities, by the money, by the stages, by the book ideas, by the business, by the wealth, by everything. You are the manifestation. So are you up to par? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Am I showing up as the one that would be picked by this life, by this idea, by this creation? And if not, what do I need to change? So here are 5 easy ways that I want to share with you for you to tap into the frequency of wealth. Are you ready? Super simple. It's like piece of cake. Easy. Probably heard it before. The key is to always approach everything with an open mind and the understanding that if you've done it before in one way, there's a new iteration or a deeper version or a higher level of that thing for you to now master, right? Healing is like this spiral. And so sometimes we feel like, oh, I've already done that. Why is this coming up for me again? Or why do I need to do this again? Or why do I need to talk about this again? Or I already know how to deal with my subconscious blocks, but it's like, maybe there's a pattern or something that you dealt with up here on this level in a relationship, maybe when you were in high school. And then it's like, ooh, but it's more complex now, because there's more things involved, or it's a marriage, or there's children, or it's a different dynamic, right? So the healing is always going deeper, 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 and it's often the same themes and same patterns and same ideas, but we get to meet them again with fresh eyes and say, okay, what does this mean for me right now? What does this mean for me today from the seat of consciousness that I sit at today? So here's 5 easy ways to tap into the frequency of wealth, and I want you to just remember, wherever you're seated, there's another level or another iteration of this that you're now being asked to continue healing into. So the first one is to watch your language around money. I remember when I first started doing money work, it was a lot of like, oh, I can't afford that, or that's so expensive. But what about, check this out. What if now it's like seeing people buy a $23 smoothie at Erewhon? And you're like, $23 for a smoothie is crazy. But isn't that another version of the same thing of I can't afford that or everything is so expensive here? So watching for how you evolve, but you're still being asked to heal deeper and deeper and deeper on that spiral. So being careful about how you talk and what you say about money and how you judge other people for money. I'm so broke. I'm not good at saving money. I'm not good at spending money. I don't know anything about money. I'm not good at math, all these things. $23 for a smoothie, what the hell? Who would pay that? Why would anyone waste their money on that bag, that flight, that thing? All of those are projections, and they're being revealed in our language around money, which is something that we can easily catch ourselves in and choose to change and say, ooh, I'm not going to be that girl. I'm going to say something different or say nothing at all. Number 2 is to reframe low vibe payments. So we all have to pay for things that we're not going to be over the moon excited and joyful about. We have bills that are not fun to pay for. We have groceries that are kind of fun to pay for depending on where you're shopping, but also kind of like, whoa, it's that much for food. What is happening? And then you also have, of course, things like fines, fees, taxes, parking ticket, all these things that are like, how am I going to make that a fun thing to pay for? Well, you're not necessarily, but there's still a way to reframe it. So anything that you've already received, but you're now paying for, so like your electricity, your water, a lot of things with our bills and where we live, especially if you have like a mortgage or anything like that, it's like you've already received the blessing and the benefit of being able to have shelter and light and food and water, but now you have to pay for it. So you lived here all month and you were safe and cozy and warm, and now you have to pay that bill. So we consider these things blessings already received. And so when you go to spend money on these things, you just remind yourself, wow, I'm so grateful for this blessing that I've already received. It's not, oh, I can't believe I have to fucking pay for this. This mortgage is so high, or this HOA. We live in a condo. The HOAs, man, wow, those will test. Those will test your reframes of money. I'll tell you that. So it's always like, okay, this is a blessing that I've already received. These are services that were already rendered, things that I've already benefited from. And now I'm just paying for them. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The other thing that you can think about when you're spending money on something is, where is this money going? Who is it potentially helping? Whether you're paying for groceries or at a store or literally anything, anywhere you're spending money, that money is going somewhere, right? And so you could live in this negative, pessimistic mindset where you're like, well, it's going to big corporations and it's going to whoever, these corrupt men at the top of well, the cashier is also a human and she works there and she is making money, and maybe she has a family and maybe she has children and maybe she has bills and she has health insurance. And so maybe the money that I'm spending, a portion of it is going in some way, shape, or form and flowing to help this individual. And could that make me feel a little bit less irritated or frustrated or annoyed when I'm spending large amounts of money? We don't want to spend money in fear. We don't want to swipe the card and spend money in annoyance or frustration, or have that kind of begrudging attitude of like, ugh, can't believe this cost this much, or like, oh my God, I just spent this money again. So this is why we're working on, anytime we're spending money, we're really being in an amazing mindset as we do so. So we want to put things out. We want to release the money with the energy that we would like to receive money. Yeah. So however you let it go is going to be like the karma of how you get it back. So if you can figure out how to let it go with gratitude and love, then you'll likely receive it back with gratitude and love and ease. Yeah. So think about who it could potentially be helping. Also, think about how it's serving you, right? You're buying something. Money is never lost. It's just an exchange of value. You don't ever lose money. You just trade it for something that you believe is worth that amount of money. So you don't lose money, you gain value. When I go and buy something at the store, I'm not throwing money away or losing money. I am gaining a piece of value that is equal to the amount of money that I just set down. So how is it serving me? What am I getting from it? Is it feeding me? Is it nourishing me? Is it helping my family? Is it helping me? Is it bringing me joy? Am I spending, $7 on the coffee because I like driving around, listening to Taylor Swift and drinking a nice matcha? I'm paying for the vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the value. I received value. I did not give money away. I got a good ass time in my car with myself, listening to my music, drinking my drink. It's serving me. And the last thing, if there's no possible way to reframe it, you're like, this is the absolute shittest situation. I have been robbed or stolen from or taxes. Then what we resort to in the worst case scenario is every dollar I spend comes back to me multiplied. That's the touche. That's the touche. It's like, okay, well, we've let it go. And what's cool about that is it's coming back. And it's not just coming back, it's coming back multiplied. That's the ultimate reframe, okay? So when all else fails, that's what you use. Number 3 is we transition from if to when thinking. So instead of if I have enough money, then I will, if I can save this amount, then if my business is successful, if I make 6 figures, if I become a millionaire. And we start talking about when, right? When I have enough money, I'm going to do this. When I save $500,000, I'm going to invest in real estate or do this, that, or the other thing. When my business becomes successful, I'm going to be known for this and I'm going to feel this. When I make 6 figures, this is how I'm going to manage my money. This is where I'm going to put my money. This is who I'm going to pay with my money. When I become a millionaire, this is how I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to go on a trip. I'm going to fly first class. Whatever it is. When. Start believing in the fact that it's happening, in the inevitability of it, and moving that way, not only in your mind, but also in your embodiment. Number 4 is to pay people how you want to be paid. Okay, this is really important because it goes back to the point of like the way that we send the money out is the what we're going to receive in terms of like that karmic cycle of how we're going to get it back. So if we can, using those reframing techniques and all of these things, if we can send money out in a beautiful, blissful, easeful, relaxed energy, then we will be able to receive money in a beautiful, blissful, relaxed energy, okay? So think about when you pay people, how you would want to be paid. I like to be paid on time. I personally love a good pay in full. Payment plans are great, but I also like seeing a big chunk of money come in. You're like, okay, Caroline, I saw that pay in full. I like to be paid with a smile. I like to be paid by someone who is joyous and happy to pay me. They're excited to work with me. They see the value in what I offer. They're like, I'm so excited. Yes, here you go. Say less. That feels amazing. So can I pay people that way? Can I pay my team that way? Can I pay employees that way? Can I pay friends that I owe money to that way? Can I pay my partner that way when I need to pay him back for something? How can I pay other people how I want to be paid so that I can create a karmic cycle where all of that is coming back to me? I also like to be paid without having to ask for it. So I'm not going to make other people, hopefully, as much as I can help it. Sometimes I miss invoices or things, but like to the best of your ability, if you don't want to have to ask someone and say, you still owe me for whatever, or here's the invoice again, can you please, if you don't want to be doing that, then make sure you're not doing that to other people. So pay people how you want to be paid. Cool. To the best of your ability, right? To the best of your ability. Number 5 is to surround yourself with abundant thinkers. This is really important because what you see and hear and feel most often will dictate your reality, what you believe is possible, and all the results that you get and create in your life. So if you have people around you that are always believing in the negative, or nothing is possible, or they're such a downer, or they're dragging you down, or they don't see the possibility and they don't believe in your dreams or your business or your whatever, then you need to either remove them from your life or remove you from their orbit, remove yourself from their orbit. Or you need to be really intentional about setting careful boundaries so that you can protect your peace and know that not everybody in your life is meant to talk to you about everything. So there might be certain conversations that are off limits, certain topics that you don't talk to that person about, certain pieces of personal information that you no longer share with this person because you know how they are. Maybe they have a personality disorder. Maybe they're a narcissist. Maybe they're just really negative. You got to boundary it up. You got to get it together because it's going to mess you up. Okay. Another way to get around abundant thinkers rather than getting away from the people who are not, which is a big part of the process. That's probably the most important part of the process, is to get away from the people that are not pouring into you in terms of abundance, but to also put yourself in rooms where you can be with other like-minded thinkers. So joining communities, memberships, going on retreats, meeting people, online spaces, things like that. Also reserving like money and business conversations for people that are going to be supportive. And if you have no one in your immediate circle, if you have no immediate friends or family members who get it or who see the vision for your business or your personal brand or social media or whatever it is that you're trying to do, that's okay. It's really normal. There's a lot of people that have that. And that's why we're all here. That's why there's hundreds of people on this call, because we're all like, oh, are you weird? Because I'm weird. Or maybe everyone else is weird and we just figured it out. But like either way, like I want to hang out with you guys, right? And it's really important that you only take advice from people who are expanders to you. So if they are not in a position that you would like to be in, if they're not managing their money how you would like to manage it, if they are not exemplifying the values that you also value, if they are not in a marriage that you admire, then don't ask them about relationships. Don't share about your relationship. If they don't have a business or a bank account that you want to trade with, then stop talking about yours with them, because they have nothing to give you except for doubt. That is the only thing that you will get from a conversation with that person, is more doubt planted into your own mind. Get in rooms with like-minded people and get in the game. And sometimes the game has a price tag to it. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. No matter how far away it seems, no matter how unrealistic it seems, I really do want you to know, I hope that you walk away tonight feeling that your desires are possible. And not just possible in general, but that they are possible for you. And that's the key. Because I think a lot of us believe these things are possible. We see that they exist. We see the success, the abundance, people succeeding, growing, evolving, making money, living free, traveling. We know that it's available and that it's possible, but there's a small seed of doubt or a big seed of doubt inside of us that says, but it's not going to happen for me. Like, it's possible for her or for them because they have this, that, or the other thing, but it's not possible for me. And so that's what actually has to change. I know that you know that it's possible, but I need you to know that it's possible for you. Everyone's dreams and desires are uniquely fit because they're meant for you and they chose you. And so they are possible for you. Your up level is truly right around the corner, and I believe that more than ever. So trust, and believe that it is happening. And even if you feel the doubt, you just continue to affirm, like, I don't need to feel fully trusting all the time to continue to choose trust. Oh, I don't need to feel fully trusting all the time to continue to choose trust, right? I don't need to feel patience all the time to continue to choose patience. A lot of times we think that we are impatient because we want things to go faster. But unless you are completely changing up your action plan and flipping the script because of your need for it to go faster, then you're not actually acting from impatience. You're sitting in patience, but it feels like impatience because you wish it were different. But you are actually exercising the energy of patience. And so I want you to remember that you can exercise the energy of trust while still having doubts, right? As long as you don't pull back or retract or give up or quit or completely shift, as long as you don't switch up the whole plan because you felt doubtful, then you are in fact still trusting. And that's really important because I think we don't give ourselves enough credit of how much we actually are trusting. You are trusting, you can still trust and have doubts at the same time. It just means that you're feeling the doubt, but you're choosing trust. I'm feeling doubt, but I'm choosing trust. I'm feeling doubt, but I'm choosing trust, right? But the main reasons that I see why most people don't achieve their goals and they don't get where they're wanting to go is because they have too many negative or fearful people in their lives that are influencing their decisions. They don't have enough support on their team. They're not in the right rooms. Their subconscious programming and their nervous system conditioning is holding them back and they're not doing the work to fix it. Or they have a really low risk tolerance. So there's not enough self-trust built up to radically start making those choices and stepping outside of their comfort zone. And like we talked about, following the pings and the nudges and eating the breadcrumbs, right? Even if they seem nonsensical or like they don't add up. The best way for you to create an abundant future is to stop chasing wealth and to start becoming it, right? That is the whole theme. We want to embody that experience of abundance and wealth inside of ourselves so that we can generate that on the outside. So grateful to you. I love you with all my heart. Community is everything to me. So I really hope that if you're new here, you will stick around. You'll listen to the podcast and hang out with us, follow along on Instagram. I love you guys so much. As always, I'm always in your corner. If you ever need anything, I'm here for you as a friend, as a leader, and as someone who really, really believes in you and truly from the bottom of my heart wants the absolute best for you. I hope you get everything that you've ever wanted and more. I love you guys. Mwah.